Good day everyone, good day ma'am. I'm Elaiza Taculod from Best Asian 3B, and right now I'm going to report the chapter 6 entitled The Tourism Public Sector. The responsibility of government in developing, organizing, promoting its tourism industry is of primary importance to the Philippines. In order for the government to be more effective, partnerships with the private sector need to be fostered and cooperation from local communities need to be worked out. Okay, so we have here the learning objectives. First is to identify the various government agencies involved in the development and promotion of the tourism industry as well as their functions. Second is to describe the relationships of these agencies with one another. And lastly, explain the possibility of public service as a career in the industry. This chapter deals with particular government agencies directly involved in the promotion of tourism in our country. Several allied government agencies will also be included in this chapter, as these agencies, though not directly involved in the promotion of tourism, tend to provide a substantial contribution to the efficient operation of the tourism industry. It was during the year 1973 when the Philippine government realized that there is need to realign government efforts towards trade promotion and tourism development for greater effectiveness. Hence, the need for the government's immediate and priority attention. This gave rise to Presidential Decree Number 189, May 11, 1973, creating the Department of Tourism, which was enacted to make the tourism industry a positive instrument towards accelerated national development, through which more people from other countries may visit and better appreciate the country, and through which the Filipinos themselves may learn more about the natural beauty, history, and culture of the Philippines, and thus develop greater pride in and commitment to the nation. Moving forward, we have here the law, Department of Tourism. The Department of Tourism, DOT, was created by virtue of Presidential Decree Number 189. It is the primary policy-making, planning, programming, coordinating, and administrative entity of the executive branch of government in the development of tourism industry, both domestic and international. The DOT has the following major functions. First is to supervise all activities of the government which concern tourism. Second is effect the removal of unnecessary barriers to travel, the integration and simplification of travel regulations, as well as their efficient, fair, and courteous enforcement to assure expeditions and hospitable reception of all visitors. Formulate an integrated program of promotion and publicity designated to attract and induce people abroad to visit the Philippines and patronize things which are Philippine-made, and to enhance the prestige of the Filipino people and the Republic. Also review all the tourism projects which may involve loans from government financial institutions before said institutions may take action on them, and approve tourism project and firms applying for tax incentives under the Export Incentives Act as amended by Presidential Decree Number 92 before the Board of Investment may take action on them. We have here the discussion of the law. The power to regulate licensed and supervised tour operators, accommodation facilities have now been devolved to the local government units. However, it must be noted that the power to regulate does not include the power to prohibit operation of the establishments without due process of law. The word regulate as used in subsection section 2444 of the Administrative Code means and includes the power to control, to govern, and to restrain, but regulate should not be construed as synonymous with suppress or prohibit. Philippine Tourism Authority. Presidential Decree 564 October 2, 1974 was enacted revising the charter of the Philippine Tourism Authority, which was originally created under Presidential Decree Number 189 dated May 11, 1973. Strengthening the Philippines Tourism Authority (PTA) was needed in order to be in a better position to effectively unify and integrate related activities and services of both government and private entities pertaining to tourism development projects. Travel tax collection is PTA's main source of income. Travel tax is a levy imposed by the government on individual citizens of the Philippines, permanent resident aliens who have stayed in the country for more than a year, who are leaving the country, irrespective of the place where the air ticket is issued, as provided for by the PD 1183 as amended by the PD 1205, Batas Pambansa, BLG 38 and EO 283 on travel tax. So payment of travel taxes are coursed through the Bureau of Internal Revenue. Currently, the PTE has the following general powers. First is to implement policies and programs of the Department of Tourism pertaining to the development, promotion, and supervision of tourism projects in the Philippines. Next is to promote the development into integrated resort complexes. To promote the development into integrated resort complex of selected and well-defined geographic areas with potential tourism value, known otherwise as tourist zones. To extend all forms of assistance to private enterprise in undertaking tourism projects, and to undertake for its own account or in joint venture with the private sector the operation and maintenance of essential tourist facilities which private enterprise alone is not prepared or willing to undertake. Next is to assure availability of land at reasonable prices or rental rates for private investors in hotels and other tourist facilities, and to coordinate, assist, and implement tourism-related plans or operations of local governments, governmental agencies, public corporations, and where clearly necessary and feasible, those of private entities, so as to make possible the accelerated and balanced growth and development of tourism in the Philippines, which is responsive to the needs of targeted travel markets here and abroad. Moving forward, we have here the Intramuros administration. For 400 years, Intramuros has been a priceless heritage of the past for the city of Manila and major historical landmark of the Philippines. In order to preserve and enhance the historical value of Intramuros, a National Historical Consciousness Program demands its restoration, development, and maintenance, and for this purpose. Hence, Presidential Decree Number 1616, April 10, 1979, creating the Intramuros Administration, was created charged with such vital role and responsibility. The Intramuros Administration IA shall be responsible for the orderly restoration and development of Intramuros as a monument to the Hispanic period of the Philippine history. It shall also ensure that the general appearance of Intramuros shall conform to the Philippine Spanish architecture of the 16th to the 19th century. The IA or Intramuros Administration has the following functions. First is to formulate, coordinate, and or execute policies on the implementation of programs, project activities of the government affecting or relating to Intramuros. Enter into contracts with any private persons or entity or any government agency, acquire through sale, expiration, or other means, hold real and personal property as it may deem necessary or convenient in the successful prosecution of its work, receive, take, and hold by request, device, donation, gift, purchase, or lease from foreign or domestic sources, either absolutely or in trust for any of its purposes. Moving forward, we have here the other government agencies. So first is the National Parks Development Committee or NPDC. So the National Parks Development Committee was created originally as an executive committee on January 14, 1963 for the development of the Quezon Memorial, Luneta, and other national parks. It was later designated as the National Parks Development Committee (NPDC), despite an attempt to transfer it to the Bureau of Forest Development, Department of Natural Resources. The NPDC has remained under the office of the President. Next is we have here the National Historical Institute or the NHI. So Presidential Decree Number 260 dated August 1, 1973 has declared certain sites, churches, and places as national shrines, monuments, and or landmarks and placed their preservation, restoration, and or reconstruction and/or reconstruction under the supervision and control of the National Historical Institute in the collaboration with the Department of Tourism. The Natural Historical Institute has been given the authority for the preservation, restoration, and/or reconstruction of several historic sites and buildings. All monetary contributions and donations to the archives of the National Historic Institute are tax exempt and deductible from the taxable income of the donor. Next, as we have here, the National Center for Culture and Arts, NCCA, Republic Act 7356 has been enacted in order to create the mandate of the National Center for Culture and Arts. Its functions are as follows. It's to formulate policies for the development of culture and the arts, to coordinate and implement the overall policies and programs of attached agencies on the development of culture and arts stated under Executive Order No. 80, administer the National Endowment Fund for Culture and the Arts, encourage artistic creation within a climate of artistic freedom, develop and promote the Filipino national culture and arts, and preserve Filipino cultural heritage. Next, as we have here, the Philippine Convention and Visitors Corporation, PCVC. The Philippine Convention and Visitors Corporation, or PCVC, is a non-stock, non-profit government corporation attached to the Department of Tourism, DOT, tasked with promoting the country as an ideal tourism, convention, and incentive travel destination. Its Conventions and Incentive Travel Unit, CIT, provide comprehensive information, assistance, and guidance to meeting planners and incentive travel organizers who seek an ideal venue for their meetings and incentive groups. So next, as we have here, the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, or BSP. Presidential Decree No. 520, issued on July 23, 1974, empowers the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, formerly Central Bank of the Philippines, to organize a corporation which will manage and administer the Philippine International Convention Center. Next is also we have here the National Economic Development Authority, or NEDA. The National Economic Development Authority, or NEDA, is the country's independent economic and development and planning agency. It is headed by the President as chairman of the NEDA board, with the Secretary of Socio-Economic Planning, concurrently NEDA Director General as vice chairman. All cabinet members, as well as the central bank governor, are members of the NEDA board. The National Economic Development Authority was created in pursuance of the goals of promoting the economic and social development and stability of the country. Next, as we have here, the Department of Environment and Natural Resources, or the DNR. As provided under Section 4 of Executive Order 192, the Department of Environment and Natural Resources is mandated to be the primary government agency responsible for the conservation, management, development, and proper use of the country's environment and natural resources, including those in reservations, watersheds, areas, and lands of the public domain, as well as the licensing, utilization, and regulation of all natural resources as may be provided by law in order to ensure equitable sharing of the benefits derived therefrom for the welfare of the present and future generations of Filipinos. The DNR's mission is to be the dynamic force behind people initiatives in the protection, conservation, development, and management of the environment through strategic alliances and partnerships, relevant policies and programs, and appropriate information technology towards sustainable development. That's the end of my report. Thank you and have a good day.